Good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. I know parking was a little crazy out there, so we wanted to give everybody a little extra time to get in this evening. My name is Kelly Kuntz, and I'm the new college counselor here at Roncalli High School. And I want to welcome you to our planning night for juniors and their families. Tonight's all about helping you guys understand the process of planning your life out for everything that happens after your Roncalli graduation. You might be heading off to college, you might be going into the military, you might be going directly into the workforce, but whatever your path, we in the guidance department are here to help you along that journey. Speaking of your journey, what I wanted to just kind of give you an idea of what I do to help you along that path. You can see a description of what I do on page 3 of your guidebook that you should have received as you arrived. Besides organizing events like the one we're at tonight, I'm also a resource for students who require a little more specialized assistance in the application processes, such as applying for some scholarships, applying to elite universities or military academies, among other things. For the most part, your guidance counselors are going to be able to help you throughout the journey towards your graduation and beyond. But occasionally a student's aspirations are outside of programs or institutions that our guidance counselors are familiar with, and that's when they come to me and they say, hey, can you take a little extra time and help this student out? And then as soon as they give a referral for you to come to me, then I start researching your unique situation, and then we set up a meeting and we go from there. Speaking of your amazing guidance counselors, we have a few of them in the room today. If your last name begins with A through D, your guidance counselor is Mrs. Angela Maley. If your last name begins with E through KE, your guidance counselor is Mrs. Gattuso, and I believe she's still out at the guidebook boxes trying to help everybody along there. If your last name begins with KF through MA, your guidance counselor is Mrs. Beckwith. For last names beginning MB through SCH, your guidance counselor is Mrs. Jessica Engel. And then if your last name begins with SCI through Z, your guidance counselor is Miss Ellis, and I believe she is still out with the guidebooks as well. So tonight's agenda, we will be offering several different presentations on different topics, but we only have time for everyone to attend 2 different sessions. They're going to be 25 minutes, so pretty short and sweet. If there are more than 2 topics that you're interested in, please contact me after tonight, and I will make sure that you get all the information that you need. Please notice the Learn More Indiana magazines. They were available on the tables out front. These magazines are full of very valuable information that can help you at this stage of your life. At this time, I want to go ahead and introduce our speakers for tonight. If you guys wouldn't mind standing as I announce your names, and then we can get started. So, Mr. Matt Harris is with the NCAA Eligibility Center. He'll be discussing student athletes and everything that's involved in getting that process started. We have Staff Sergeant William Lashbrook from the United States Marine Corps. We also have Mr. David Gay from the United States Naval Academy. We have Miss Simone Stover from the University of Chicago, and she will be explaining the ins and outs of the more selective college admission process. Then we have our very own Mrs. Angela Maley from Roncalli Guidance Office. She'll be exploring career resources for those of you not planning to go straight into the military or into college. I'd like to thank all of our speakers for sharing their expertise tonight. with us. And at this time, you guys are welcome to go on back to your classrooms, and we'll be dismissing shortly. Now I'm going to turn the mic over to Mrs. Engel, and she's going to walk you through the guidebook that we handed you tonight, and then also the Naviance resource.
I like to walk around, so I'm going to go ahead and hold this here. Okay, I'm talking to you about two different things. I'm going to talk to you quickly about the guidebook that you got this evening. We're going to go over some different parts of it that you might be interested in. You can peruse it on your own if you would like to. Sometimes the page turning in the middle gets a little bothersome, but there will be some pages that we'll kind of talk about, but we're mainly just going to go over the task list with you guys so that you know exactly what's in the guidebook and how it can help you. And then I'll quickly talk about Naviance. Most of your students are already knowing about Naviance. We came into the U.S. history classes a few weeks ago, and we went over some stuff that your students could be doing as juniors in Naviance. So it's kind of going to be an overview of those types of things. All right, so what is the guidebook? The guidebook is a comprehensive overview of college and career and alternative planning needs. So again, starting as a junior, you will get a new guidebook as a senior. So this is juniors only. It includes a checklist that can be personalized to you. So this is your guidebook. You can write in it if you would like to. And we're going to go through the checklist as it pertains to you. It's going to have college admission information. This is a summary of dates, deadlines, what colleges are looking for when they're admitting, college visit information, job shadowing, frequently asked questions, several different things. It also has information about Naviance, and Naviance can be used for multiple things your junior year, including career and college exploration. As a senior, you're going to be using Naviance for requesting transcripts, letters of recommendation. It has SAT and ACT registration information, prep information for those tests, and financial aid frequently asked questions. So there's a lot of stuff that's kind of in here and more. Sorry, what's wrong with? I'm going the wrong way. Nope. Nope. There we go. I clicked the save button and now. Okay. All right, so go ahead and turn to the second page in the guidebook. And if you want something to write with, it's probably a good idea because there is a whole lot of information. So we're going to go through the task list that's on page 2, starting with college selection. Campus visits, job shadowing, those can all be taken place during the school day or during a weekend or on a break. We recommend that you schedule at least one and recommend visits during the months of September, October, and November. For excused school day visits, you must obtain a college visit or job shadowing form from the guidance carousel. There is also a copy in your guidebook, so if you, for some reason, didn't grab one and you want to just copy it from the guidebook, you can do that as well. Your parents have to sign the form, turn it into Miss Avery in the front office by 2 p.m. the day before your visit. The best way to set up a college visit is to contact the admissions office at the university where you're planning on visiting. For visits this fall, you will need to call now because they do book fairly quickly. You are not allowed to take visits on the days immediately before or following a school break. Directions are on the college visit or job shadowing form as far as all those directions go. Our office also has access to virtual reality goggles for universities that you're unable to visit. We realize that you might want to go out of town, you might want to go to UCLA and you can't make it there. We have several ways that we can virtually tour those things as well, so all you got to do is let us know. For job shadowing, you may not job shadow a family member. Contact your counselor if you need help connecting with an adult for a specific career. So if you have a career in mind and you're like, I don't know anybody who's an engineer, come to your counselor, we can help you. We have several resources and we can get you hooked up with somebody and get you job shadowing. We currently have over 60 college reps scheduled to visit Roncalli during the school day. Visits have already begun. You can sign up on Naviance for those visits. I highly encourage you to sign up for multiple visits. As a junior, you have unlimited visits, so you can do it during the school day whenever you would like. It is invaluable to meet an admissions rep who will very likely be the one to read and make a decision on your application. College reps need to know your face. They need to be able to see you. They need to be able to know your name. They need to know how excited you are to go to their college. They will remember you. You need to be more than just a piece of paper that comes across their desk. So that's what we're trying to get across to all of our students, to go and meet those reps whenever you can. So a little note on that. These visits do have limited number of students that can attend, so you need to make sure to sign up early. You must be signed up by 7:30 a.m. the day before the visit. You are allowed to do as many as you would like. Another way to get in touch with college reps is by going to college fairs. There are several college fairs that you can go to that are around town. One that is not on this slide that we will have, one that is not on this slide that we will have more information in the guidance blast on is the Southside College Fair. And that fair is going to be on Monday, March 3rd from 6:30 to 8 at the University of Indianapolis. And again, we'll have more information on that on the guidance blast, but we just got confirmation on that this morning, so it's not on there. You can attend the Guidance Career event. That is November 8th at Roncalli during the school day. You'll need to sign up for that event. We'll have more details on how to sign up for that event when it comes a little bit closer to that time. And then the JET tour is on Monday, September 9th at Roncalli in the Media Center at 3:30. This includes universities such as Loyola, Marquette, Xavier, St. Louis University, among others that will be here just as a little college fair, meet the reps kind of thing. You'll get some swag, and it's pretty fun. So if you're interested in any of those universities, you can come to that on September 9th. We'll talk about developing your college list through Naviance in just a few minutes. I'm just not going to hold that anymore. The next thing on your checklist is standardized tests. So underneath standardized testing, we recommend that all students complete the SAT and/or ACT tests. Standardized test scores are used in most college admissions processes as a supplement to the high school transcript. Most colleges and universities will accept both SAT and ACT scores and will not necessarily prefer one over the other. Many will superscore if you take the test more than once, meaning that they'll take the best scores for each subtest that you take and put them together to create the best score possible for you. Make sure to see specific college websites for questions regarding superscoring or whether or not they superscore. You can find information about registering for the SAT and ACT on page 16 in your guidebook. It tells you exactly how to register, where to go, what you should be looking for. Once students receive their scores, we recommend that you retake the test that you performed better on. So if you did better on the ACT than the SAT, then that's what we prefer you take the ACT again to get the highest score possible. How do you know if it's higher? There is a comparison chart on page 21 in your guidebook. So once you've taken both of those once, then taking that one that you did better on is going to be what we recommend. We do have an ACT test at Roncalli. That's the only one we offer here at school. SATs, you'll have to take at a different school, but it is kind of comfortable and gives you a little bit of an advantage if you take the ACT here. That is going to be on Saturday, February 8th, so you can actually register for that now if you'd like to. For prep options for the SAT and ACT tests, in a few minutes I'll talk to you about Naviance and how Naviance has method test prep available to you. Like I said, we went into the junior classrooms a couple of weeks ago. We actually got accounts for every single junior on method test prep so that you guys can go ahead and go in and not only study for SAT and ACT, but also PSAT, which is taken at the end of October. Method test prep is free, along with Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a free resource available to students. Once a student creates an account and links your PSAT scores to it, the practice becomes targeted and personalized for that student. So it's really highly recommended because it is very personalized towards your scores. Another option, and this one does have a cost that comes with it, is Doorway to College ZAPS seminars. These are offered both in the fall and spring at Roncalli. They're 2-day workshops right after school, just a couple hours right after school. It's great for students who don't have a lot of time to study or do study strategies for standardized tests. The next PSAT or SAT workshop is on September 30th and October 1st. Registration is open, and again, that's in your prep options, which are located in your SAT, ACT section of the guidebook. All right, the next section is the college application process. A couple things that you can be doing to help that process go a little bit smoothly next year. First of all, updating your resume in Naviance and continuing to keep it updated. It's a good tool for your counselor to use for recommendations, but it's also good for you to use when you're applying. You don't have to think about how many service hours I do, or when did I do that job, or what did I do last year. If you keep it updated the whole time, all you have to do is look back to figure out what you did so that you can just copy it on your application rather than trying to remember it all. If you're not getting the guidance blast and you can't figure out how to update your email in Naviance, again, this was something else that we did with the juniors during their U.S. history classes a couple weeks ago. So we showed them how to get onto Naviance, how to look at your personal information, and how to make sure that all of the information is correct. So parents, if you're not getting the guidance blast, make sure you let your child know so that they can get on Naviance and they can change that information for you. Lastly on here, attending the scholarship night here is a good way to get a good jump start on what we're doing next year. We're finding that a lot of the seniors are like, oh my gosh, scholarship night, I probably should know that. But if you start now, you're gonna have a great start for next year. So we have a lady who's coming in who really knows a lot about college scholarships. She herself got a free ride to college just on scholarships. She's really passionate about making sure that kids go to school and that they don't have to pay for it. So she will talk to you about how to get scholarships, what scholarships to look for and where to look for those, and how to get the most money out of your scholarships. So September 11th is a good night to make sure that you guys are here. The next section on your task list there is careers, major areas of study exploration. Naviance is a good resource to use to help you explore career options and arrange job shadowing. Page 10 in your guidebook gives you information on hiring a career counselor. So if Naviance is not helping you as far as career interest profiles and things like that, and you're not really interested in what it's giving you, you can hire a career counselor. So we have a list of people that you can hire, and we've actually had several students who have done this to determine an area of study that might be right for you. The RHS Career Event, which I mentioned earlier, is the school day event that allows our students to meet with multiple professionals from various career fields, including healthcare, law, engineering professionals, and many, many more. This event takes place at Roncalli Friday, November 8th, and again, you must sign up prior to the event before coming. You'll have more information about that coming up. A few other kind of areas of interest that you may need to make sure that you look at in the guidebook. The guidance calendar of events is located on page 5 of the guidebook for your reference, so that there are kind of the calendar that kind of we go by, so that you know when things are happening and where and what time. We have a growing number of students interested in apprenticeships and trade schools. Additional information is on page 26 in the guidebook if you're thinking about going to an apprenticeship or a trade school. If you have any questions regarding our C9 program or career questions, you can attend Ms. Maley's breakout session this evening. She will answer some of your questions about that. Also in the guidebook, you can find military contacts and information along with the ones that we have here this evening. Information on vocations. If you're interested in becoming a priest, nun, or a friar, is information in the guidebook regarding those. And information on NCAA and NAIA guidelines. So there are several things in this book that will really help you throughout this year. So it's something that you do need to keep with you. We will be talking about it again when we meet with your juniors come spring. If you have any questions about any more questions about the guidebook, you can always talk to your counselor. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to discuss is Naviance. Again, we did talk to juniors about Naviance a couple of weeks ago. We went through a couple of these things, so this is primarily for the parents to kind of get you updated a little bit, because you will be using it this year and next year. Naviance is a program that Roncalli students can use all 4 years of high school. Students are introduced to the program as a freshman or sophomore in their college and career prep classes. They take personality tests, career interest profiles, and explore careers and colleges that might be a good fit for them. Students, keep in mind that you can redo any of these inventories. As we know, your interests change from year to year, so if you want to retake, you haven't taken it since freshman year, you want to retake the career interest profiler, you can retake it. You can clear off what you have and retake it, and you have questions about that, you can always ask your counselor. So let's look at some of the uses for Naviance. First of all, you can develop a college list. So some of you might already have some colleges in there from freshman or sophomore year in CCP class, but you can add new colleges in the colleges I'm interested in section. And then when you become a senior, you will move those ones over that you are really liking or that you want to apply to the colleges I'm applying to section. You update your resume in Naviance. Again, this is something we ask that you do continually as you go through your junior and senior year, and just keep that updated. Method Test Prep has access on the first page of Naviance. So from the home page at the very, very bottom, there's a link there for Method Test Prep. And again, we made sure that every single junior has an account. So if they're not doing anything, and the parents, if you want them to study, that's all you have to do is go to Method Test Prep. They have an account already. Career options exploration and college match for those careers is also something that you can do on Naviance. As a senior, again, you will be requesting transcripts, letters of recommendation, exploring colleges, things like that. When you get your scores back from ACT and SAT, we'll look at how you can compare those as well. So lots of things that you can do with Naviance. How to access Naviance? It does need to be accessed through the Roncalli website. So you need to go to the Roncalli homepage, go to students, and then on the far left-hand side, you'll find Naviance, and that's how you get on there. Every single one of your students has a Naviance account. So again, if you have a question about that, you can ask your student. I'm going to just highlight some of the things that you can look at as you get into looking at different colleges, into having your scores back for ACT and SAT. This is a college profile. All this information is on the college profile, so all you have to do is search a college, and you can see how you compare with other students who have been accepted to that school. You can choose to compare yourself to previous Roncalli students, or you can compare yourself to students nationally. This page has information on the average price of the school on the left. It has the graduation rate of that school, the acceptance rate. College overlaps just means that other students who have applied to this college has also applied to certain other schools, so you can see what other schools they've applied to. And then on the right-hand side are some deadlines. So it has some really useful information. If you scroll down the page a little bit more from the college profile, you can compare your scores. Once we get your scores at Roncalli in the guidance department, we upload them into Naviance. And then you can show how you compare to other students from Roncalli who have been accepted to that school. So it shows your score, it shows the average acceptance score for that school, and the highest and lowest acceptance scores for that school. So this is SAT scores, and on the left, ACT in the middle, and then your overall average on the right-hand side. So you can kind of look and see where you are compared to other students. This is another thing that you can look at on that page. If you click on scattergrams, this is my favorite one because I think it's just really cool to see. The scattergrams show a combination of GPA and test results along with admission decisions from other Roncalli students who have applied to that school. So SAT score is at the bottom, GPA is on the left. You can also change this to ACT scores too if you choose to take the ACT instead. You can see that there's a light blue circle kind of in the middle below the top line. That is you. So wherever your scores lie, it will show where you are. The dotted lines are the average GPA, average SAT score of accepted students from Roncalli to that school. Several students in the same space as you on the scattergram have been accepted, but some have not. Remember that GPA and test scores are not the only elements that are used in the decision process for admittance, but they are important ones. So this just gives you a good idea of how comfortable you would be applying to certain schools based on your GPA and your test scores. Make sure you consult your counselor if you have any questions regarding Naviance this year. And I'm going to let Ms. Kuntz finish up with any final reminders.
Okay, so we have a few final reminders before we dismiss you to go to the breakout sessions that you've chosen. We have evaluation forms in the back of your little handout, the yellow front page handout that you were given as you walked in. We just ask that you take a minute to fill that out. Our goal is to make these events as informative and beneficial to you as possible. And this is my first year. I'm basically following the guidelines set from the previous college counselor. And I just really would value your feedback so that we can improve where we need to improve, or, hey, this was really great. I'm really glad you did it. You should definitely keep doing that. Just let me know your thoughts on the evening so that we can make adjustments for next year. If you wouldn't mind, please leave your evaluations with the student helper in each breakout session at the end. That would be great, and then they will make sure that we get that feedback. Also, if you have any questions that are not addressed by this presentation in here or by the breakout sessions that you're about to go to, please don't hesitate to email your counselors, email me, let me know, and I'd be happy to talk to you about whatever concerns you have, and we'll get started. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I hope the sessions are very informative and that you learn exactly what you need to learn to make your journey successful.